My awful niece smashed my daughter's face into her cake on her birthday. My daughter's 5th birthday was 2 days ago and it was the most hectic birthday party ever. My daughter basically planned the entire birthday since she invited her friends and picked out all the decorations. The party was just going to be family and friends in the backyard of our house. Everyone arrived relatively on time, except for my sister. She came hours late with her children. I don't want to sound like a mean aunt, but her children are bad, disrespectful, selfish, and lack any manners. My sister essentially messed around and found out. There was a period of time where she went broke. My parents refused to help her because she had lied to them about going to college when she actually dropped out and used the money they would send her to buy substances. She never bothered to contact me for help because we were never on the best of terms since she always argued with me whenever she saw me, so she didn't have my number back then. In order to get back on her feet, she hooked up with guys for money. Things went wrong and she got pregnant 2 separate times by 2 guys who didn't want anything to do with her. Because her whole hookup thing was very anonymous, she had no way to find them, so she couldn't even get child support from these guys. She was left alone to raise these kids, but she resents them and it shows. Which is why she doesn't care about how they act. She couldn't care less about them being rude to people or not having any proper manners. If anything, they remind her of a period in time where she was at her lowest. She's also grown to hate me even more than she already did because I went to college, have a good job that pays well, and have a happy family. Ever since my daughter was born, my sister would have to hear about her from other family members or see her at family events. I can tell she doesn't like my daughter and I didn't want to invite her to the party because of it, but my daughter is too young to understand that her aunt doesn't like her and sees the world through rose-tinted glasses where the word hate doesn't even exist. The party was going well and my daughter was having a lot of fun. She especially loved the red carpet surprise we did when she entered the backyard in her dress and heels. I heard my niece ask her mom why she never had that for her birthday and it actually made me sad. I don't think it's fair how my sister treats her kids, but if I ever tried to lecture her about her kids, she would throw a huge tantrum and call me names. But now that I think about it, I don't think my nieces ever had birthday parties. Which would explain why she did what she did. When it was time to cut the cake, my daughter sat in her high princess chair with both of my nieces sitting on chairs on her left and right side. We turned the lights off, lit the candles, and we all started to record as we sang happy birthday. I knew this was a party my daughter would never forget, but not for the right reasons. Just as my daughter was about to blow out her candles, one of my nieces blew it out and the other one smashed my daughter's face into the cake. Not only was that incredibly dangerous, but so humiliating and it ruined my daughter's birthday. My husband and I rushed to my daughter and I unintentionally pushed the one that smashed her face into the cake onto the floor. She started crying, but I didn't care. The worst part is that some family members were still recording. I yelled at them to stop, but my sister started yelling at me for being immature, pushing her daughter, and said that my daughter was being dramatic. She said her daughters were just joking around, so my daughter was just crying for attention. I told her that her daughters were out of control and they had no right to do this because it was my daughter's birthday, not theirs. Any pity I had for my nieces quickly left my body as I wiped the cake off of my daughter's face. My husband did damage control by getting people to stop recording and trying to kick my sister and her daughters out without causing a bigger scene. But that didn't work since my sister went as far as calling my daughter the N-word because she's half black from her dad's side. Her daughter started joining her and calling her that, and that's when my husband had enough. He threatened to call the cops if they didn't leave, but I never expected what happened next.